Hi everyone and welcome to the second part of this Q&A. I just realized that in the first part the lighting was really light, really bright, so I closed the curtains. I hope it changed anything. So these are questions that you sent me on my Instagram when I asked you to, so if you don't follow me on Instagram yet, go to that and you can take part in things. Okay, Waiting Out the Winter asks, which languages would you like to learn? By the way, I love and follow your series of symbols. Would like to know more about the inverted cross if it's possible. Cheers from Argentina. Cheers from Germany. I would really like to learn... I'm really not so good at learning languages. I tried to learn Italian a few years back, but it didn't really turn out too well. I'm just lazy, I don't study enough, but if I could, I would love to learn Sindarin. Really, that would be awesome, but I'd have to find some other speakers of that language, so well. To the symbol series, you're in luck because the next planned video is the Leviathan cross, so yeah. Draconic Mayfikar asks, what's your least favorite food and why? I hate Brussels sprouts. They're bitter. Angel with the scab wings, yay, cool username. Asks, what's your favorite Ghost album and why? Dishwasher, stop! Don't do this, I'm filming. My favorite Ghost album will always be Opus Eponymus, I think. It was just, it's the first album and it's when I discovered them or when we just listened to that album the first time, it was just something very different and something that I've not really been into before, but instantly loved, so it will always be my favorite. Although I also like the other ones and I also have like favorite songs from the other albums, but yeah. Absinthe Green asks, which band artist would you pick for a private concert in your living room, and which person, you can only pick one, would you invite to watch would you invite to watch the show with you? XX. I think I'd pick Placebo to play an unplugged gig in my living room because that's like some music that could fit a small room. And then I'd really like to take my boyfriend, but I don't think that he's the one who would appreciate it most in the world. So I'd maybe take someone who's another hardcore Placebo fan, like me. Miserable asks, how do you differentiate between liking goth and being goth? I'd say that's pretty straightforward. I mean, you can still not be goth, but just like the aesthetic of it. It doesn't have to do much with like dressing goth or anything. I think it's more a set of mind. I mean, I know a lot of people who tell me that they like what I do or they like how I dress or anything, but they wouldn't do it themselves or they wouldn't want to do it themselves. So, you can like goth things and still not be goth if your priorities or your major liking things are outside of the goth. But being goth is not necessarily defined by wearing goth clothes or any one particular thing. It's just more like an overall set of mind. And I'd like to say that everyone who considers themselves goth might be goth or can be called goth because then they see it for themselves. And if you yourself think that you belong in that subculture or you belong underneath that label goth, why would I tell you differently? So you mean that someone who likes goth things is not automatically goth? Yes. So I'd say that if the majority of the things that you like fall under that category goth, then you're probably goth. But if you still don't call yourself goth, then you don't have to fit under that label, no one has to. Batty Ashes asks, if you could pick one place that you haven't been before to travel to, where would you go? I really love to visit Iceland sometimes. It looks so beautiful and it seems to be so magical, such a magical place. I'd like to visit Iceland and I will, sometimes I will. Storyteller 1967 asks, I write about the darkest horror and I love the darkest horror gothic ladies. I want to create a gothic lady character in my books who is dark and sexy. However, I want to make sure that readers do not think that is all there is to her. What characteristics would you give her? I'd like to think that Gothic people are open-minded characters and people who are very curious about things in the world that are maybe strange to others. So I'd like to think that we're all interested in curious, strange things. So maybe that. If I would design a character like that, I would probably make them very intelligent and maybe bookish, but that might be a stereotype too, I don't know. Sophie Manson 91 asks, kommst du zum VGT Mera Luna? Probably not VGT, but I really try my best to come to Mera Luna this year. I've never been to any of these festivals, although I live in Germany, I know. Well, VGT is soon, so I probably won't make it, but I will try my best to be at Mera Luna, and I will tell you if I, buy a ticket or anything. Never X Minds asks, what is your favorite city? It's Hamburg, where I live, of course. And another favorite city of mine, which I have visited, is Prague. And second, if you couldn't eat something for a year, what would it be? You couldn't eat something for a year? Well, like Brussels sprouts, something I hate. P.S. I really love your videos. Thank you. Oxydex asks, where do you get your makeup and style inspirations? I think mostly from like the internet, scrolling through Instagram and Tumblr and Facebook and anything. But I also do like to get my inspiration from music and from the season, and then sometimes or most times when the season changes, I like to listen to different music and then get into that mood. And most of the time I will dress like something that comes to my mind as my daily motto. Like yesterday I just really like to listen to Manson stuff, so I put on a Manson shirt and tried to match my Manson makeup. Then I went out with my headphones on listening to Manson all day. So that's an inspiration. But I also like to watch movies, like I said before. I think I said it in the other part of the video, which movies inspire my makeup. Yeah. Shady Armella asks, favorite songs? One of my favorite songs right now is Born in Winter by Gojira. My all-time favorite songs include Piero the Clown by Placebo and Starfuckers Inc. by Nine Inch Nails. Die Triebtäterin asks, hast du mal vor, ins Ruhrgebiet zu kommen? Hast du vor, mal ins Ruhrgebiet zu kommen? Well, I lived in Cologne for 10 months and I hated it. And I know Cologne people will say that's not Ruhrgebiet, but well, for a northern German, that's all like southern Germany, Well, if there's a concert, like I went to Bochum for the Twins of Evil tour, so maybe for something like that, but not necessarily for just visiting Ruhrgebiet. I would want to go there for like an event. Maybe, yes, why not? B. Belinsky asks, VGT, camping or hotel? Well, I love to camp at festivals because I think the atmosphere in a camp is like one thing that motivates me to go to festivals. But for something like VGT, where you have to dress up very much and, you'd like to be clean and properly awake, I like to say hotel, or at least some kind of roof building. Glasunela, I don't know how to pronounce your name, by the way, asks, was sind deine Top 5 Reiseziele? Wie lange bist du schon mit deinem Freund zusammen und wie habt ihr euch kennengelernt? Da kommen noch mehrere. Moment, also. Was sind deine Top 5 Reiseziele? As I said, Iceland would be lovely. I'd also love to visit more of Scandinavia. I've been to some places, but there's a lot to see. Then I definitely want to go to Russia, and I definitely want to go to New Zealand, and I also definitely want to go to the Baltic states again. I've been to Latvia and I really liked it, so yeah. Are that 5? Wie lange bist du schon mit deinem Freund zusammen und wie habt ihr euch kennengelernt? We've been together for 6.5 years now. And we went to school together, but we didn't end up being together until after school. So yeah, I knew him from school. So I'd say school, friends, whatever. Was sind deine Lieblingstiere? My favorite animals are cats. I'm a cat person, although I've never had one living with me, but yeah. Traumjob und Zieljob. Well, I'd love to be a YouTuber. I really like doing this. And yeah, but I also do want to work in the social media business. I'm currently applying as a community manager or junior social media manager for businesses. Liest du gern und wenn ja, was? Inklusive Beispiele. I'm a very slow reader, but I'm currently reading a gothic novel called Turn of the Screw. Zockst du Videospiele und wenn ja, auf welcher Konsole und was? Was für Filme und Serien schaust du? No, I don't play any video games, really. I sometimes play Pokemon or something, but as I said, I can't really stick to anything too long, so was für Filme und Serien schaust du? Currently we're watching One Piece, and I can stick to that one series at a time. And then, if Game of Thrones continues, as I said in the other episode, I will also watch that. For movies, I really like to watch more of independent movies. We always go to very small cinemas. Like if you live in Hamburg or you know Hamburg, then I like to go to Savoy or Abaton Kino and watch smaller, more not like blockbuster movies very much, with the exception of superhero movies. Gibt es bestimmte Videoformate, die du gern machen würdest, die aber deiner Meinung nicht auf deinen Kanal passen? Well, when I'm traveling, I really like to do traveling vlogs, but I don't think that too many of those would be too interesting, so yeah, I don't really do them too much. Darf ich dich mal besuchen? Yeah, why not? Tell me if you're in Hamburg, then we can meet up. Midinana1998 asks, what do you think about Pastel Goth? Is it really a part of the subculture or just a style? One kiss from Spain. 2 kisses from Germany to Spain. Pastel Goth, well, I think it depends on the person really, because I think you can be goth and wear whatever the hell you want to. So if you dress with pastels in your style and call yourself goth, then of course you're goth. It depends on the person. I think there are people who just regard it as a fashion also, and then for them it's just a fashion. But I think you can be part of the subculture if you wear pastels, of course. Forest of October asks, what do you least like about the gothic subculture? Well, definitely elitists who tell you you're not goth enough or you can't be goth because of such and such. And also people who complain about developments within the subculture and who are just... I mean, I understand that you can be a traditionalist and stick with your traditional ideas of what the subculture is, but you can't deny that it's developing and it's changing and it's ever changing. And I hate people who always complain about, oh well, in the 80s you wouldn't have done such and such. So is there a band artist you like that don't necessarily fall under the goth alternative subgenre that'll make people surprised that you listen to them? Well, I don't think that people are surprised that I listen to other music that is not goth. Well, besides a lot of metal that I listen to, I also really love 70s blues and witchy kind of rock music. Well, maybe that's not surprising. But if, for example, I really like Hexvessel, go listen to them. Honey Samsa asks, wie bist du auf die Idee gekommen, bei Colors zu arbeiten? Gefällt es dir da? War es leicht, den Job zu bekommen? Well, I wanted to work there when I was 17 or 18, and I went there to ask, but they didn't have a job back then. Just because I really like the atmosphere there, and I still do like it. By the way, I don't work there anymore, if you haven't seen that. I just like the place because of... You surround yourself with things you like, don't you? And I liked it there, but I just don't think I like the retail life so much. War es leicht, den Job zu bekommen? Well, the first time I asked, no, they didn't have a job. But then it was the first place I called. I just called and asked if they had a job. And they said, actually, yes, send us your application. And I sent it. And then they called me back and said, would you like to come around Saturday and, work? So, yes. It was kind of easy, but I don't think it's easy all the time because, they were obviously looking for someone when I applied there. So Oxydax also asks, would you have a baby with me? No. So that was it for the second part of this Q&A. I hope I answered all of your questions to your liking or satisfactorily. And thank you very much for watching. And of course, you can also always ask me questions, and I will try to answer everything underneath the video or on Instagram or on Snapchat or anywhere. And yeah, as I said, thank you very much for watching, and see you soon in another video. Bye!